Mary Richards, 3217 West Street in Iowa. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters and therefore of the Bakken Resistance Coalition, and I'm a grandmother. I want to frame my remarks with your own Iowa Utilities Board mission statement, which states that you will regulate utilities to ensure reasonably priced, reliable, environmentally responsible, and safe utility services made available to all Iowans. I'd like to look at that in reverse, last phrase first. No utility services would be made available to any Iowans as a result of this pipeline. It only traverses the state, doesn't leave anything here. In terms of safety, the lack of the safety of pipeline transportation, as a matter of fact, any kind of transportation of hazardous materials, including crude oil, is well documented and has already been addressed. Environmentally responsible. Taking the Bakken crude oil from the Bakken shale would be very irresponsible. To begin with, the fracking that's required to do that guzzles water that's becoming ever more scarce. And the whole process postpones the weaning of our society from its dependence on carbon-releasing fossil fuels to a greater reliance on renewable energy sources that are produced right here in Iowa. Things like solar, wind, and bio-renewable fuels. Those would be reliable and reasonably priced. And the development of them would provide both construction and operation jobs that will also directly benefit Iowans. I urge you to adhere to your board's mission statement and deny the request.
Hello, my name is Brandy Vogelbach, L-I-N-G-E-L-E-A-C-H. We are members of I am a union member of Labor's International Union of North America, Local 353. I am the administrative assistant for the Iowa Laborers Education and Training Fund in Northern Iowa. I see every day the effort and education that goes into training union members. So I stand before you today in support of the Dakota Access Pipeline, knowing that if approved, it will be built with the best trained and most safety-conscious workers. As a union member, I support jobs in America that employ union workers. I also support energy independence and want our hard-earned dollars to stay in this country. I feel that the Dakota Access Pipeline will benefit communities, employees, and their families, and will also be the safest way to transport crude oil across our state. I am a proud union member, employed to make sure our members are provided with necessary training to make this pipeline the most safe and well-maintained in the United States, and I support the Dakota Access Pipeline. Thank you.
I'm Sherry Redina, 2712 Dutch Road, Des Moines, Iowa, reading an excerpt from a statement from Ed Allen, F-A-L-L-O-N, 735 19th Street, Des Moines, Iowa. Mr. Jacobs, Ms. Hoosier, the three of us served in the legislature together, and I know you take this process seriously. And as this is one of the most important matters ever to be brought before the Iowa Utilities Board, I hope you take the time needed to make the right decision. I oppose this pipeline for many reasons. First, I am deeply concerned about climate change. A 100% renewable fuels economy is within our grasp, allowing this pipeline to go forward only further stalls this essential transition. Second, I am deeply concerned about the negative impact on private land and on public property. Third, I have been an active defender of property rights since the three of us served together in the Iowa State House. I walked the length of the proposed pipeline earlier this year. I could tell you story after story of landowners, farmers, and other property owners who are passionately opposed to this pipeline. I also met landowners who already signed an easement with a pipeline company, yet less than a third said they felt good about it. Many landowners signed under duress. Some signed because times were tough and they needed the money. Most signed under the impression that they had no choice. Some of the tactics used by Dakota Access's representatives could only be described as disingenuous or even bullying. Reps often gave the impression that the company already had a permit or would certainly be granted one. Landowners were told momentarily the company would condemn their land and they'd get much less money. Prices offered to landowners varied drastically too. I heard consistently that reps would start by offering $6,000 an acre, but would always settle for more than that, usually between $10,000 and $18,000 an acre. One even got $36,000. In other words, the company's so-called final best offer very broadly and suggests a company that encouraged distressed to deal disingenuously with landowners in order to get to it.
Ed Fallon is now in France and he is walking from the Normandy.
Yes, I'm here subbing for
to
Kurt
Paris
Cornish.
in
My
advance of
name
the
is
climate
David
summit.
Fry. I'm number 54 on your list. I live at 808 Spring Valley Drive, Indianapolis, Indiana. I am also here in support of my brothers and sisters from Iowa. I also want to tell you about a pipeline that went through Indiana in 2008 and 2009. That pipeline in Indiana lifted up all small communities and all laborers and all workers, be it union or non-union, in the state of Indiana, as it will do here for Iowans in the great state of Iowa. Our brothers and sisters deserve this work. They are good people, and as we are in Indiana. But most of all, I want to stress to you that since this pipeline was put in 2008 and 2009, I am not aware of one leak that happened in Indiana.
It
And I
will
also
happen,
believe
dude.
that will be true for this pipeline when it goes through Iowa. Our members in Indiana work on refineries, oil in, oil out all the time. Hardly ever on these pipelines coming out anymore with the way everything is improved, especially since 2008 and 2009. This pipeline will be safe. I too support the environment strongly, but I too support the work this pipeline will put out. I urge you to support this pipeline. Thank you.
Ross Gruters, Polk County, 2010 Copperwind Court, Pleasant Hill. I'm here for the future. This pipeline puts our children's future at risk. It puts my daughter's future in jeopardy. The benefits of this project are greatly outweighed by externalized costs which Iowans and those beyond this state subsidize. It puts landowners at risk, it puts Iowans at risk, it puts our world at risk. Even without a spill, oil moved in this pipeline at great risk to Iowa will negatively impact two of the biggest sectors of the Iowa economy, farming and insurance. Farmers increasingly bear the brunt of climate change caused by fossil fuels. Insurance companies will be forced to pass on costs to policyholders and Iowa workers. We already pay too much subsidy to the deadly fossil fuel industry. As a union locomotive engineer, I know a little bit about trains. I know oil will continue to be shipped by rail. How? Because oil company executives have told us it will. I have also asked our state legislators if they will regulate stop oil by rail post-pipeline. They will not. To my union brothers and sisters supporting this project, we hurt our fellow workers. We hurt fellow union members by teaming up with anti-union forces like fossil fuel companies. We must forego our short-term interests in order to win economic
This
justice.
is the final
Fossil
public
fuels
hearing
directly oppose wind and solar
the
job
Iowa Utilities
opportunities
Board
in our local communities.
before they start.
Imagine if this board and our union
decision
members
making
were
on the
supporting
proposed back
these
oil pipeline that
initiatives.
would cross
Imagine what our rural communities might look like with these permanent jobs. We need to end the fossil fuel addiction, and in order to do that, we need the help of our union brothers and sisters, and we need the help of the Iowa Utilities Board. Please support Iowa landowners, Iowa workers, and please oppose the Bakken pipeline.
At this time, I would ask that numbers 41 through 50 approach the staging area that's on the right. right. My right, your left.
Right, no, the
My
other.
name is Robert Craig, I'm from Noblesville, Indiana, and I'm here in support of the pipeline. The pipeline will be a $3.7 billion investment in Iowa, and over a $13 billion total investment. Pipeline will add around 2,000 to 4,000 construction career opportunities, with millions of hours in labor throughout the construction phase, and pay a living wage to the workers. Pipeline will translate to millions in state and local revenue during the construction phase, and an estimated $29 million annually in property taxes and income taxes. Research shows that dairy pipelines are statistically the safest and most economically efficient means of transporting oil. This is according to the U.S. Department of Transportation, and that's why I'm in support of the pipeline.
The Department of Transportation is owned by the industries.
My name is Virginia Meyer. I live at 5281 Biloxi Avenue, Southeast, in Northwood, Iowa. You on the Iowa Utilities Board are charged with a very difficult and awesome responsibility. You must make a decision that has life-changing consequences for the people of Iowa. It can't be easy to make this decision. But you have also been given an awesome opportunity to protect and secure the future, the health of our land and our water and our people for generations to come. You have the ability to help our state and our nation transition to clean and sustainable energy. You can deny the building of the infrastructure that facilitates all of this dirty fossil fuel. When will we stop building dirty infrastructure? We have to change. That is a powerful and positive contribution that you can give to us. Now, you can decide that an out-of-state company can put our fertile soil and our precious water at risk for private gain. You can decide to reduce the productivity of the best farmland in the world and give a corporation higher profits. You can decide to take the land away from Iowa farmers and give it to a Texas pipeline company. You can decide to make some owners and some executives very wealthy indeed. Or you can protect our resources, you can protect generations, you can make a life-enhancing decision for the people of Iowa. The choice is yours, and I hope you make the right one.
Hello, my name is Jeff Bell. I'm from Rockbridge, Illinois, and I'm here to support the pipeline. I would like to thank you all for your public service and for the things you do for the citizens of Iowa first. Secondly, this pipeline, I believe, will provide good jobs for people that will be able to support their families. My grandfather was a laborer for in excess of 50 years. My father was a laborer. I am a laborer, and my son is a fourth generation laborer getting ready to finish the Laborers Apprenticeship program. No one will be able to convince me that these aren't careers. These are not temporary jobs. These temporary jobs are actual careers for generations of families. My hope is that when this project begins, there will be individuals on the project who are able to look back and say maybe potentially that they are the first generation of laborers to work on this project, or operating engineer or other craft, and their families, in fact, will follow behind them and do the same thing. And therefore, I ask that you support this project. Thank you.
I am Phyllis Moore Burrs, CILD, 160 Revival Avenue, Webster City, Iowa. And I am here on behalf of Greg and Trish Moore, Rockville City, County, Iowa, and our 113-year-old family farm. We are very concerned about the extremely volatile oil that will be going through our land. Also, the destruction of our land, drainage system, and the use of eminent domain. Dakota Access is a private, out-of-state company that has billions of dollars for little or no compensation to thousands of farmers and Iowa residents. There is no benefit to anyone in Iowa, only potential disaster when the pipeline breaks. Dakota Access can claim bankruptcy and leave all the taxpayers in Iowa to pay for it. A communist government can take land away from its citizens. Are we any different if you allow a private company to use eminent domain? Since the very first letter we received from Dakota Access, they have threatened the use of eminent domain. They have told us this pipeline is a done deal and that the landowner should sign. They have stockpiled pipe in Iowa and recently contracted an appraisal company. There has been no decision on their commit, but their arrogance has made everyone believe it is a done deal. Therefore, people have signed the proposal under false pretenses. Our land is not for sale. The decision will create precedent for future private companies to use our land for their own profit. Please reject this pipeline next. Thank you.
439 Longbow, Illinois. Matt Marcella. The bears repeating with great pride that we do have head of household careers. Through our apprenticeship programs, we are the most highly productive and efficient workforce available. Smart, well-vetted infrastructure projects such as this don't just create financial gains, but consider the amount of health insurance coverage that it will provide for thousands of members in Iowa. This project, with the millions of man hours, could be the difference in the amount of health insurance coverage that not only our members, but their spouses and families could enjoy for years to come. In a time when health insurance is a polarizing topic, our self-reliant health and welfare programs create wellness in our communities. With little debate that infrastructure policy going forward is to improve and create while simultaneously creating jobs. We believe that this project creates that perfect opportunity, and we hope that you approve it. Thank you.
Hey everybody. My name is Hugh Westby. I'm here as a proud member of Iowa CCI, and I live in Des Moines at 1005 63rd Street. I want to talk a little bit to my friends out in the audience. I got friends out in the audience who wear blue shirts, and I got friends out in the audience who wear orange shirts. I saw Kenny Gwynn come in when I was out here, and he's an orange shirt. He's with LiUNA. He's a friend of mine. Earl Hagan, he's with the Building and Trades. He's a friend of mine. I don't have a bone to pick with the unions. I don't have a bone to pick with you fellows at all. The real villain is not in this room. The real villain is corporate power. The real villain is big money corporations. The real villain is Dakota Access and ETP and Big Oil. The real villain is the Koch brothers. The real villain is Terry Branstad. And the real villain is Scott Walker. I got a bone to pick with those folks. I don't have a bone to pick with the orange and the blue shirts at all. When orange and blue fight each other, we lose. And you know who wins? Big Oil, corporate power, Rick Perry, Koch brothers, Terry Branstad, Big Oil, they win. We lose, people and planet loses. By the way, I'm opposed to the pipeline. But when blue and orange unite, we fight corporate power, we win. Blue and orange unite,
referring to
corporate
many
power.
of the union leaders who are in support of the pipeline wearing orange shirts,
Now, you
orange
might think that's
jackets.
a pipe dream, but it's not. It's happening all over the country. Labor Network for Sustainability is doing it.
And other
Bringing
union
labor
members
groups,
are wearing
community
blue
groups,
shirts,
environmental groups together
as well
to move
as,
us to a clean energy economy,
people
move us away from
opposed to the
fossil fuels.
pipeline
Blue
are
and Orange
wearing
Unite, fight
blue
corporate
shirts
power.
also.
Brian Vasky, 628 East Main Street, Port Iowa. I support the Dakota Access Pipeline and encourage the Iowa Utility Board to grant permit for the construction of this project. I serve as a business agent for Operating Engineers Local 234. I am a graduate of the apprenticeship program. I've seen firsthand how projects such as Dakota Access can benefit its members with good paying jobs, benefits, and allow them to build careers and support their families. While my primary job focuses on skilled craft and trades, farming operation here in Iowa, I often hear farmers concerned there are too much oil using the freight rail system and how it creates problems for them to get access to rail cars to ship their products to market. An American Farm Bureau Federation study found that Midwest farmers have lost over $500 million in revenue because of delays in delivering agricultural products to a town because of shortage of rail cars. These delays stretch out for over several weeks in most extreme cases. Farmers depend quickly and efficiently on affordable rail deliveries to get their products to town. The Dakota Access Pipeline will help relieve stress on rail cars in the Midwest. The pipeline is safe, reliable method of transportation, and will also help secure energy independence. Thank you for your time today, and I support the Dakota Access Pipeline. I hope the board does too. Thank you.
My name is Lou Bolster. I'm a landowner in Jefferson County, 506 South 4th Street. Members of the IUB, you are charged with determining if this project is of a convenience and necessity for the people of Iowa. It is not a public utility. We can talk about whether the issue of eminent domain, the misuse of eminent domain, and that it will affect 60% of the people along this pipeline route. We can talk about the economics of this project. Only 25 or less permanent jobs, only $250,000 surety bond. That's barely enough to buy pizza for a cleanup crew for a week. We can talk about climate change. We can talk about the use and support of oil, or we can talk about that Iowa is the #1 wind state in the nation and what we can do to continue supporting that. We can talk about breaking the oil energy habit. We need to begin that somewhere. Let it begin with Iowa. Let Iowa be #1 in determining and deciding no to oil. We can talk about the lack of an environmental impact study. We can talk about this very process, that there are so many people here in support of this project that are from out of state that are talking about the use of Iowa land and Iowa taxes. We can talk about this one part that scares me the most, and that's the name of this company, the last few words, Limited Liability Corporation. That should scare the hell out of everybody. That's there for one reason and one reason alone. That protects them and their assets. It does nothing to protect Iowa. It does nothing to protect Iowans or the ground we stand on and live to protect. So I ask you, please, this is not a public utility. Vote no on this project. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Tim Ryan, 1404 Crosby Drive, Normal, Illinois. I am a fifth generation laborer, and I am standing here in support of this project and ask the IUB to do that as well. It is estimated this project will create between 2,000 and 4,000 jobs. I understand that is an estimate as of right now, and these jobs are careers, as we have all said. We do not look at these as a temporary job, we look at this as a career path for all of our workers. We are the only workforce out there that works to put ourselves out of work, and the next day we find the next job and go back to work and do that over and over and over again. These jobs provide health care, training, and the best pension you can have. We are a self-funded healthcare plan, and we provide our membership their healthcare. This project will be built with a local workforce and with local communities. It has already been assigned to local union homes in the area, so that guarantees that the workers will be from Iowa and from
That
this
statement
county
sounds
community.
like
So I
the
stand here
pipeline
today
is
and ask the
approving
IUB
when
to
he
support
says
this project
like that.
to help Iowa put their members back to work. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jess Mazur, and I'm a proud member of Iowa CCI and a resident of Des Moines, Iowa, 5637 Brattleboro Avenue. Key word of that is resident of Iowa. I am adamantly opposed to the Bakken pipeline. I've heard dozens of reasons why we should not build this pipeline. It will negatively impact our water, our soil. It will negatively impact agriculture, our wildlife, our rivers, our streams, our aquifers, our climate. It will negatively impact our fossil fuel dependence. It will impact our democracy and our future generations. The list goes on and on and on. I've only heard 3 reasons why people are supporting the pipeline. Jobs, safer than rail, and keeps our soldiers here. Imagine if we invested in clean energy, like wind or solar. We can create jobs, we can avoid rail and pipeline, and we can end our dependence on fossil fuels to keep our soldiers here. That's the alternative that we should be pursuing. If you approve this pipeline, you are assisting in the destruction of our planet Earth. Plain and simple. It is clear from the threats that this pipeline causes that it outweighs the false benefits. IUB members, this is your chance to leave your legacy on Iowa. Will it be that you left this place a mess for our children to deal with? Or will it be that you set an example for future generations? If you want this pipeline, stand up. If you don't want this pipeline, stand up. Sorry. If you want clean water, Iowa, let me hear no balking. Clean energy, Iowa, let me hear no balking. If you want green jobs, let me hear no balking. If you want to make Iowa a better place for future generations, let me hear no balking. If you want this board to deny the Bakken pipeline, let me hear no balking. Thank you.
My name is Jeff Penn, 7 Cottonwood, Wilmington, Colorado. I'm here as a union member and a veteran to support this pipeline. As a union member, I'm here to support the thousands of jobs that will create for brothers and sisters in Iowa. And as a veteran, I'm here to support the pipeline to help us become more energy independent and keep driving the Middle East. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brittany Newell. My address is 11673 South 120th Avenue East, Sully, Iowa. I'm a union member, my son is a welder, yet my family and I oppose the pipeline. The projected pipeline route includes a section of farmland currently owned by my father, Carl Van Zee, and Uncle Lloyd Van Zee. This is a scenic piece of land in Jasper County in a floodplain of the Skunk River. Dakota Access has proven to be a dishonest company when dealing with my family and other landowners. My dad did not give them permission to do a survey of the land, but he was told by Dakota Access that he had given permission. Then Dakota Access contacted Lloyd in Wisconsin. He was told that Carl had agreed to the survey. Lloyd signed an agreement to survey stating that he was in agreement only if Carl agreed. So with no real permission from either landowner, Dakota Access conducted a survey of the land. In May, Lloyd was again contacted by Dakota Access and told Carl had agreed to the easement proposal. Again, a lie. Lloyd signed the agreement for easement and wrote on the contract that he only agreed to the proposal if Carl also approved. Lloyd was sent a handwritten check from Dakota Access for over $22,000. This dishonest company should not be trusted with a project that could easily destroy Iowa's precious natural resources. Eminent domain should not be used. The pipeline is for public use. Dakota Access is clearly a private company intending to take private land for their own profit. Dakota Access has admitted they don't have the funds to pay for cleanup of potential leaks. Taxpayers will be responsible for cleanup. There is no benefit for Iowa. There is no guarantee oil prices will decrease for consumers. Rail lines will still be used for transporting oil. It will not eliminate spills from trucks or rail accidents. I hope you will consider my opinion and the opinion of many Iowans and vote no on this project.
Jeff Deputy, 213 37th Avenue, East Maine. I am the field rep secretary treasurer for the Laborers Local out of Rock Island, which has counties in Iowa. I'm also on the Rock Island County Board, so I want to thank you guys for your calling today as public servants. I had to make a choice on the clean line, which was a wind power for us. And our fiscal responsibility, we had to look at the tax revenue volume and the jobs. And I think you guys should look at that too. For these jobs are not just, these are middle class jobs. These are not $7 an hour jobs. So imagine Iowans looking in the paper and saying $20 plus for a good job. These are Iowans that will be able to take their families out for dinner to the movies. These are Iowans that will live here, pay taxes here. And that's what you should be looking at. Our members, I have 4 members that live in Iowa that will be working in Iowa, but we will also be hiring people from Iowa to manage. These were Iowa jobs for Iowa people. Thank you.
Hello, I am Patty P. 1522 29th Street in Des Moines, Iowa. I speak against the pipeline. The oil industry is a toxic, polluting industry in all of its aspects. This pipeline just perpetuates this system. Our environment, climate, and people can no longer tolerate this dirty energy. We must seek cleaner forms of energy. There are no guarantees strong enough that there won't be any leaks. But we, the people of Iowa, will pay when there are damages to our land, to our water, and to our health. My family experienced health problems from the oil industry. My uncle worked in an oil refinery. It was common knowledge among the workers that you were lucky if you lived to retirement. And if you did make it to retirement, you would not live very long thereafter. My uncle died of cancer a year after he retired. This pipeline brings no great benefits to Iowa beyond some jobs. But the damage and the potential damage to our state could be overwhelming. Remember that you work and are paid for by the people of Iowa, and that's whose best interest you should protect. I urge you to deny this pipeline. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matt Smith, 33177 Dexter Road, Tams, Illinois. I'm here to support the jobs that this project will create. I'm a landowner, a farmer, a hunter, and a fisherman. I love nature and I love the environment, and I can guarantee you that the laborers and the other trades will build this pipeline safely and efficiently. This country isn't ready to be free of oil and other fossil fuels. Laborers also built wind turbines, solar plants. We continue to build those also. We'll build America into the future. Thank you.
My name is Peter Rowland. I live at 2011 Rochester Avenue in Miami City. Chairman Hooser, you have a tough job today. Thank you. I have the deepest respect for those pipeline workers who are here to speak in support of honest labor. In a broad view, labor and sound environmental policy do not have to be in conflict, but I understand that it appears otherwise. There have been 4 500-year floods in Iowa in the past 2 decades. This is consistent with the fact that our climate is changing due to the burning of fossil fuels by humans. This according to 97% of all climate scientists. In order to avoid even more catastrophic damage to life as we know it, we need to stop and reverse our increasing use of fossil fuels now, not tomorrow, not next year. Again, this dire prediction is supported by an overwhelming majority of climate scientists. One of you is an engineer. You especially know that you ignore the laws of physics and what the data tell you at your peril. The oil that would flow through this pipeline, because it occurs mixed with clay and sand, results in the generation of about 17% more greenhouse gases than an equivalent amount of conventionally drilled oil. To invest in this infrastructure for this kind of oil will have profound, irreversible consequences in the long run. Governor Branstad appointed you because he felt you would be able to represent the people of Iowa when issues such as this arise, and I trust that he has chosen wisely. You serve at the pleasure of the governor, but you serve the people of Iowa. Thank you for your time and your hard work on this issue.
For the information of those in the audience and speakers, I am now calling up numbers 51 through 60 over to the staging area on the right. But I also want you to be aware that the board will take a short recess as soon as we get through numbers 50.
At that
Mike
point,
Todd, 421 Trevor Pine Circle,
at
North
that point,
Illinois.
I will archive
I'm a
during
member
the
of
break
Labor's
and then
Local
restart.
459. I'm here on behalf of the members of Southwest Illinois Labor's District Council. And one of the reasons why I'm here on behalf of the members is because if this pipeline is approved in Iowa, it will go through the area I live in. The pipeline is important to me because it affects many of my family and friends' livelihood. This pipeline would create thousands of jobs for not only Iowans, but it would create thousands of jobs for the neighboring states of Iowa. Pipelines are the safest way of transporting crude oil, according to statistics from the U.S. Department of Transportation. That's why I encourage this board to approve the Dakota Access Pipeline. Thank you.
My name is Elke Brandes, B-R-A-N-D as in Delta, E-S. I live on 1202 Idaho Court in Ames, Iowa. By allowing Dakota Access to build the pipeline, you would agree to a project that causes destruction and pollution locally and globally. It would bring a few jobs to Iowa, that's right. But while some might get a job, others have to fear extensive damages to their farmland. And many have to live with the risk of spills and devastating, expensive consequences, as we have seen elsewhere. I'm from Europe. My family and I will not live here in Iowa for a long time, so you might wonder why I'm here. I'm standing with everyone who is directly affected by the pipeline. And I'm also standing here because this project has global implications. Each new oil pipeline solidifies the status quo of our society that runs on dirty energy, that is fueled by finite resources, and that uses much more than our planet can sustain. So I'm also standing here for many people in other places of the world, communities that work hard to become carbon emission free, businesses that cut their margins to invest in climate-friendly solutions, families that dedicate their time and effort on saving energy, individuals, groups, or whole cities that take the threat of global warming seriously and act accordingly. Their efforts are treated with contempt by every new oil pipeline that is being built. By rejecting the pipeline, you will take a brave step forward. You can take a firm stand to lead Iowa and the U.S. into a cleaner future. I urge you to reject the Bakken pipeline.
There you get it from a global perspective.
My name is Preston Vaughn from Warden, Illinois. I'm speaking on behalf of Matt Howard. I'm number 60 on the list. First off, I'd like to thank the board for taking the time and the patience to listen to all this testimony. I'll start off by saying, we're at a time where people from Iowa and around the country are suffering because they can't even find a job. More or less a good paying job. And that's what we have here. That's what's facing Iowa, right, staring you right in the eyes, is good paying jobs. So all you hear about in political campaigns is politicians stumping about creating good paying jobs. Well, here we have one. And you, the board, can do something that these politicians say they can do, but they don't do. By supporting this project, you can create many good paying jobs for Iowa residents that will stimulate the local economy for years to come. Thank you.
I'm a resident of Des Moines. I live at 1117 26th Street. Again, I live in Iowa. My name is Carrie Fisher, and I am a child of union laborers. My earliest memories were made in the Union Hall and on the picket line, standing up to the Hormel Corporation in the 1980s. We were there on strike against our immediate self-interest to fight for our future. Hormel was seriously threatening wages, benefits, job security, and quality of life for our family and countless others. That fight against big money interest for the sake of everyday people is the same fight I find myself in again. I'm so proud to have come from a union family, and I will always stand up for the rights of union workers and the rights of all workers to organize. I'm asking the Iowa Utilities Board to reject the permit to the out-of-state energy transfer partners for the proposed Dakota Access Pipeline. I ask this in the name of environmental protection and the rights of property owners, but the number one reason I'm here today asking that you reject this dangerous pipeline is because I believe in and see the necessity of a future for all workers. Our climate crisis is real, and fossil fuels are a leading contributor. At the rate we're going, sped up by the extraction of toxic crude and the perpetuation of unsustainable energy, there will not be a world for our future and grandchildren, for our children and grandchildren to support themselves on. To the labor groups here today, and to you, Iowa Utilities Board, I assure you that we want the same things. We all want to provide for our families and allow them to provide for themselves. I'm warmly asked that you see past your immediate self-interest and consider a future as one human family. Please join the call for renewable energy infrastructure and true energy independence. And always remember that there are no jobs on a dead planet.
Members of the Iowa Utility Board, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Luis Rodriguez. I'm a field rep in the labor code 1140, which represents workers in Western Iowa. I'm here today to voice my support of this important pipeline project. This project will create good paying jobs with benefits for our training and experienced workers all across Iowa. It is important for the workers and their families to approve this important job creating pipeline. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Craig Peterson. I reside at 495 105th Street, Dayton, Iowa. I'm the landowner of Northern Boone County. Our farm has been in the family for 148 years, which sounds like a long time, but doesn't come close to the easement agreement that Dakota Access wants us to sign. They want the rights to my land, and I quote, for the purpose of accessing, establishing, laying, constructing, reconstructing, installing, realigning, modifying, replacing, improving, altering, substituting, operating, maintaining, accessing, inspecting, patrolling, protecting, repairing, changing the size of, relocating and changing the route or routes of, abandoning in place and removing at will one pipeline not to exceed 30 inches and non-resident Vandenberg in any applicant facility, in, over, through, across, under, and along land owned by me, the grantor. Wow. In other words, they want to do whatever, whenever, forever. I am sure the oil company is smiling right now. What a way to slap Iowa corn farmers in the face by digging a trench diagonally across Iowa, right through prime ethanol producing acres. They will cut thousands of private tile lines and county tile lines. Everyone is concerned about oil leak. All I ever hear is not if, but when. What would an oil leak do to our water supply when it enters those tile lines that go over, under, and next to the pipeline? I wonder if Bill Stowe would be concerned then. The Bakken pipeline is pretty sure of giving okay to start digging.
Bill
They have all
Stowe
kinds
is
of stockpiles and
director
paid out
of
millions
Des
of
Moines
dollars
Water
in
Works,
signed contracts.
who is
They
suing
knew that
3
Iowa
Iowa
farmers were
counties
independent
for
and could not get organized together to stop this
excessive
pipeline.
nitrate
So
pollution
it looks like
coming
it's up to
from
the three.
the counties that
This
flow
shouldn't
into
be
the Des
about
Moines
politics.
American
This
rivers
should
that
be about
feed
being good stewards
the
of our
waterworks
land.
for
The Iowa Utility
Des
Board
Moines metro
and
area
vote no.
drinking water
Help
supply.
protect our precious assets, our water and our soil. You are deciding the fate of our state. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lynn Pickard, 2406 Northwest 12th Street, Ankeny, Iowa. I'm the Administrative Training Director of Iowa Labor Education and Training Fund located out of Des Moines, Iowa. We are responsible for training men and women that are members of the Laborers International Union of North America across the state of Iowa. I've been in the construction industry for 26 years. I've had the opportunity to train workers in 42 different states on projects that include Ground Zero, Hurricane Katrina, Anthrax, the shuttle, space shuttle, Columbia, disaster in Texas and New Mexico, and Anthrax in New Jersey. I'm here
Those are
today to
disasters
support
or
construction of this pipeline
incidents.
across Iowa. With our industry recognized training, I believe we have the capability and the resources to train the next generation workforce necessary to complete this project and ensure it is built to the highest standard of safety to the workers, to the environment, and the landowner. In Iowa, currently there's over 40,000 miles of pipeline. Over the last decade, there have been several leaks and spills. However, since an increase of safety and regulations, those spills and instances have greatly reduced in the last 5 years. It is still the safest way to transport these materials. Some of the environmental groups have protested pipelines because of the leaks. Some are here today supporting the agricultural corporations. I know of no other business industry besides agricultural that can take a drain tile pipe from the business, run it directly into our rivers, lakes, streams, without any kind of regulation. It is these drain tiles, not pipelines, that carry pesticides, nitrates, fertilizers that have greatly increased the contamination levels in our drinking water. I strongly urge you to support this. Thank you.
I'm Rebecca Ross, 18 Valley View Knoll, Elmsford, Iowa. And I'm not being paid to speak today. And I'm here today to speak to the people in the audience of the Iowa Utility Board Public Comment Session. I would like to remind you that the members of this board were not elected by the people. So I'm not begging them for anything. I'm begging you, the people, to insist that our rights be upheld. The Constitution of the state of Iowa states all political power is inherent in the people. The government is instituted for the protection, security, and benefit of the people, and they have the right at all times to alter or reform the same whenever the public good may require it. The right our right to clean water is part of our security, since we cannot live without clean water. The Bakken pipeline will definitely put clean water at a risk. Many major rivers and creeks will be in danger of being polluted. The right to protect our land from oil spills is also a risk. The fact that Dakota Access has a surety bond of $250,000 is a joke, because the cost of an oil spill would run much more than this on one person's land. A for-profit corporation's rights should not trump a real person's right to protect their land. The 100 Grannies are working to create local bill of rights where a town or county defines the qualities that their area must have to make it a good place to live, one that offers its residents life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. 200 communities in 9 states have already passed these ordinances. Most of these ordinances are protecting the citizens from fracking or heavy metal containing sewer sludge being used as farm fertilizer. We, the people of Iowa, should be the ones who decide whether we want this for-profit pipeline running through our state. This regulatory hearing process violates our right to govern ourselves in our communities. I encourage you to find
Gary Stigl, 2206 East Reading Street, Falls, Oklahoma. Come before you today in support of the pipeline. This pipeline will support a living wage.
Each speaker has
and
2
sustainable
minutes, and when that time is
for all
up,
of
then the mic gets cut off.
4,000 is the suggested
And you
number
hear
of workers. I believe that
the
might be a
audio
misconception.
stop in mid-sentence,
And I'll
or
explain
even
that
in the
later.
middle of a word. That means the mic just got cut off.
This pipeline is going to be the safest method to transport oil, whether rail and interstate pipeline is the safest. I've never seen. Now let me back up here.
This guy's gonna lose his time.
I've never seen a pipeline in Oklahoma go bad. I live 30 miles east of Cushing, Oklahoma, which if y'all will look up is the pipeline crossroads of America. I stand before you and I understand that people are trying to get away from fossil fuels, but right now we can't. As I was standing in a parking lot earlier this morning, I looked out and I didn't see a car one that had sail on it. Oil is needed. In closing, I will touch on the 4,000 jobs, which I thought was a misconception before. I think we all need to look at the support staff of these 4,000 jobs, whether it be hotel workers, restaurant workers, convenience stores. Keep in mind the pipeline is
So, for the members of the audience, number 50 has not checked in. Is 51 standing there? Are you 51? Come over to the mic, please.
After this speaker, then there will be a short break, during which I will archive and then restart.
Pull that mic up to you so that there you go.
My name is Linda Sorensen. I live at 3299 Mississippi River Road in Keokuk, Iowa. 137 years ago today, on November 12th, 1878, on a farm in Carroll County, Iowa, my grandfather was born. He was an Iowan, and all my close ancestors were Iowans. I'm an Iowan, I can speak as an Iowan. That's why I'm proud that the bonds of our state are rated AAA by Standard & Poor's, and I'm appalled that the bonds of Energy Transfer Partners are rated B minus by the same agency. I said ETC rather than Dakota Access because it is the parent company, and Dakota Access was only incorporated in March of 2014, and therefore it has never installed a pipeline before. I'm proud that many say Iowa has the highest literacy rate in the nation, but I'm appalled that Iowans have not read the many pages Dakota Access has requested for easement rights
such as the access easement which seeks unimpeded entry, quote, into, through, on, over, under, and across the Grand Forest property for all purposes necessary and at all times convenient and necessary to exercise the rights granted to it, Dakota Access, by this agreement. I am tolerant of the fact that Iowa mandates liability coverage for all of our vehicles, and I'm appalled that it requires a mere $250,000 surety bond for a hazardous materials pipeline traversing the entire state and our major rivers and streams. I'm proud that Iowa has embraced renewable energies, and we have a workforce capable of adapting to these jobs if the market is fair and subsidies are equalized. We Iowans pride ourselves as being honest, hardworking, and fair. We've been blessed with a golden goose of good land, plentiful water, and decent air. Those in power need to maintain our rights and not give them over to corporate carpetbaggers who neither understand our past nor care about our future.
Hello, my name is John McKeon, speaker number 50. I live in Moline, Illinois. I'm the business manager for the plumbers, pipe fitters, and gas distribution workers. I represent over 1,500 skilled building trades workers. We cover the state of Iowa, the whole entire state of Iowa with distribution. I'm here today in support of the Dakota Access Pipeline, which will support not only the public, but also all of my rank and file members. This project is an economic must for the consumers of America. The pipeline will bring millions of dollars to the state and local tax base, which in turn will provide revenue for the vital projects such as community resources like schools, roads, and hospitals. This project will also bring good wages and benefits to a multitude of Iowa workers in the communities in which they live, work, and play. Iowa should be in support of providing construction jobs for the highly trained, skilled, productive, and safe workforce. The middle-class Iowa working men and women provide for their families by working these type of projects. Construction jobs like the Dakota Access Pipeline is what we as construction workers do for a living. We build things to the highest standards and the safest means possible. Iowa should encourage jobs such as these to come to the state. Energy independence will help keep our economy growing, manufacturing flourishing, and will ensure reliable low prices. Dakota Access Pipeline is an important component in making this vision come true. I hope you will support the Dakota Access Pipeline and my 1,500 union middle-class construction workers. Thank you.
For those of you that are lined up and are numbers 51 through 60, if you want to go ahead and go to your seats, that's great. We will then start back up with you. The board is intending on recessing until 12:40, and I'm using the clock that's on our laptops, which says 12:15.
Okay, I will now archive this and go take a lunch break, and then I'll be back up at 12:45 p.m. Stay tuned.